UFC Fight Night. They're calling it UFC Vegas 5. Brunson versus Shahbazyan is over, and now it's time that we do our winners and losers. This card wasn't very long because we lost a lot of good fights, which brings me to our first loser, which is us, the fans. I personally was very much looking forward to seeing the Ed Herman and Meerschaert fight, as well as the Holland and Giles fight, which got pulled right at the last minute. So our first loser right off the bat is us fans, who lost two fights that were sure to deliver. The first fight of the night was between Chris Gutierrez and Cody Durden. And this ended in a unanimous draw because Durden was able to win the first round 10-8 on all cards, and Gutierrez winning 10-9 on the other two. Now in this fight, I'm going to call Gutierrez a loser. And I say that because he's got to feel like he let this one slip through his hands. That first round, Durden had his back the entire time, and Gutierrez did very little to escape that, or he really offered up very little resistance. Now, he looked strong in rounds 2 and 3, even scoring 2 knockdowns in the third round. And I kind of thought that might get him a 10-8, getting those 2 knockdowns and possibly winning the fight. But he was unable to get that victory in a fight that he was supposed to win. Like I said, I know this feels bad to him. It doesn't feel like a draw. I'm sure it feels like a loss. So for the sake of the video, Chris Gutierrez is our first loser. The next fight on the undercard was between Jamel Emmers and the late replacement Vince Cachero, who took this fight on, they said, less than 1 day's notice. So respect to Vince for getting in there with a killer on such a short notice. And Jamal, man, he looked big, strong, fast. He looked really good. He threw a lot and he connected a lot of big punches. And Cachero, he really wore that damage well. He never got cut. He never showed redness, never showed swelling, and he just kept coming. He stuck to his game plan, and although it never worked out for him, he showed a lot of heart in there. Emmers had said before that he's a slow starter, and that just was not evident today. He started fast. He kept a good pace. He did appear to slow down a little bit in the later rounds, but he still kept a good pace even then. To me, both of these guys are winners. Jamal looked excellent, and Cachero, man, he was just thrown to the sharks, it looked like, and he did everything he could with it. Never went away, showed his heart, showed his grit. So to me, they're both winners. Moving on up to the main card, the first fight on the main card, because the Holland-Giles fight was canceled, was Venata versus Bobby Green. I think everybody expected this to be a good fight, and man, it was. They gave us some fireworks. It was just so much fun to watch. You put these two together and they just don't disappoint, I guess. At the end of the fight, I saw a tweet from Cub Swanson. He said, "I say best out of 10, and I'm with it. I'd love to see 8 more of these fights." In this fight, they both had their moments. They were hitting each other hard. They were both landing. They both dropped each other. They both showed good striking, good wrestling, good submission attempts, the ability to get up. But when it all comes down to it, Bobby was just a little more on point, and he won the unanimous decision. He won 30-27 on 2 scorecards and 30-26 on another. I think the fight was a little closer than those scorecards show, but Bobby did win this outright. It was just a lot of fun, and I'm going to call Bobby a big winner here. I'm going to call Lando a winner. And I think the real winner in this fight was anybody who happened to be watching it, because it was so much fun. The next fight on the main card was Vicente Luque versus Randy Brown, and this is one I was very much looking forward to. I like both of these fighters and seeing both as potential eventual contenders for the belt. And Luque proved that today and came out a big winner when he KO'd Brown with a really crafty knee to the face. Brown, of course, he was trying to get his hands to the mat to make himself a grounded opponent. Luque wouldn't let him, held his head up, kept him out of the reach of the mat, and landed that perfect knee and followed up with a couple of pretty good strikes to finish him off. Now, I was surprised at how big and fast and rangy Brown looked in comparison, but he wasn't able to utilize any of those advantages. Luque, the power striker that he is, he just really fought a great fight. He used those calf kicks early on. Even got a knockout using the calf kicks. Not a knockout, a knockdown using those calf kicks. He showed very good striking. He got 2 knockdowns in the first. Well, 1 knockdown in the first round, and another that probably would have been had Brown not used the fence to stabilize himself. Luque just looked really good tonight. He just had a very smart game plan. He showed a lot of smarts in the octagon, and it kind of looked like it didn't matter who was in there with him tonight. He was going to get it. And there was one point, that first knockdown, he follows Randy to the ground, and then he let him back up, and I was surprised to see that because I felt like Luque definitely had a submission, an edge over his opponent. But I guess he felt something. I guess he saw something that he had an even bigger advantage standing up, and he proved it. He was in his game. He was in his zone, and I think that Vicente Luque looks like a big winner tonight. The main event, of course, was Brunson versus Edmund Shahbazyan, and this did not go how I thought it would. I have to admit, I bought into the hype. I thought Edmund would pull this one off, and he, of course, lost in the third round, early in the third round by TKO. It's a little disappointing to me, and I'm sure plenty of people who were rooting for him. Now, that first round was pretty close, and in fact, I would give it to Edmund. He and Derek both, they started the fight a little uncharacteristic in the sense that they were both pretty patient, but it was still a fun first round. They both landed some big strikes. They both absorbed those big strikes, and but when it got to the second round, probably about halfway through the second round, Edmund just turned into a different fighter. He looked weathered and tired and discouraged, and all of a sudden no longer looked like a contender. I don't know what happened in his head. I don't know if he was hurt from something. It didn't appear that anything gave him considerable damage, but all of a sudden he just didn't look like a contender. He got his first loss today, and he got his hype train derailed. And, he just really appeared to me, his body language, he appeared like he didn't want it. And if you're going to be a champion one day, you can't be showing us that. So to me, Edmund is a really big loser tonight. He's probably lost a lot of momentum, and it's going to take him a few fights to get that momentum back. And the biggest winner of the night comes in the form of Jennifer Maia in the co-main event. This is another one I didn't see coming. I thought that JoJo Calderwood would actually have a pretty easy time out, but Jennifer put the brakes on that. I found it surprising that Maia seemed to be winning the stand-up. I thought that was an area that JoJo would really piece her up. But Maia was winning the stand-up. She was getting off first, hitting her with some shots, and forced JoJo to take it to the ground. And once it got to the ground, I thought that JoJo made a mistake in staying low in Maia's guard and never really trying to advance. Of course, it wasn't a very long fight, but Maia did a great job of keeping her there, keeping her low in her guard, and eventually slapping on a very well-executed armbar and finishing her with it. Now, this makes Jennifer a big winner, a really big winner, biggest winner of the night in my opinion, because JoJo was going to get that shot if she was able to get this win. And so Maia presumably takes her place. Maia was ranked 6th. You got to believe that she's going to break that top 5. And like I said, probably get that title shot against Shevchenko for her next fight. Shevchenko even tweeted after the fight something along the lines of "See you soon, Jennifer Maia." So it sounds like she's on board. So a loser here tonight is Joanne Calderwood because she kind of lost her steam. She lost her shot. But Jennifer Maia is a real big winner here, just kind of leapfrogging some of the others in the list and strengthening her brand, strengthening her reputation. A lot of people were probably watching this fight. So to me, she's the biggest winner of the night. So that'll do it for the winners and losers of Fight Night Vegas 5, Brunson versus Shahbazyan. A rather short night, a rather short video, But it's pretty late, and all for the better because I need to get to bed. Till next time.
Whoosh.